Splitgate is back, and it's bigger, bolder, and buggier than ever. The highly anticipated open beta for Splitgate 2 launched on May 22, 2025. And let me tell you, it's been a ride. In this video, we're breaking down everything from new features, gameplay changes, technical hiccups, and the community's raw, unfiltered reactions. If you love the original, or you're just hearing about Splitgate for the first time, buckle in, because this open beta has a lot to unpack. Let's start with the gameplay. Splitgate 2 retains the core DNA of the original, fast-paced arena shooting mixed, with mind-bending portal mechanics, but this time around, it's wrapped in a much more ambitious package. The biggest change? Classes and factions. Players now choose between 3 distinct factions: Eros, Meridian, and Sabrask. Each faction brings its own set of abilities and tactical benefits, changing the way every match plays out. This means you're not just picking a loadout anymore. You're picking a playstyle. Want to be a stealthy, portal-hopping assassin? Go for it. Prefer to tank damage and hold down zones? There's a class for that too. It adds a layer of strategy that feels refreshing in the modern FPS space. And the movement? Oh, the movement. Sliding, mantling, smoother portal flow. It all feels tighter and more responsive. One of the standout additions is the auto-triple portal feature. Instead of manually placing each portal under pressure, you now have a streamlined tool that fires all 3 portals instantly in a set pattern. This makes portal gameplay easier for newcomers, but veterans can still do their crazy movement tech. But let's be real, what caught the internet by storm wasn't a gun, a portal, or even a new mode. No, it was the infamous fart mechanic. Yep, you heard that right. There's a 1% chance when you crouch. You let one rip. It's dumb, it's hilarious, and somehow it actually affects gameplay. Players are already using it as a distraction tool, with crouch baiting becoming a low-key meme strat. Say what you will, Splitgate's got personality. Visually, the game looks sharper, cleaner, and more polished than ever before. The UI has been overhauled. Menus are easier to navigate, and overall, it's a more modern-looking game. The maps? Gorgeous. From high-tech labs to neon-lit arenas, Splitgate 2's level design has taken a leap forward in both layout and aesthetics. But for all the improvements, it hasn't been all smooth sailing. In the next part, we dive into the chaos that followed launch day, servers breaking, player backlash, and how the devs responded. Stay tuned. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the server room. Splitgate 2's open beta launch wasn't just rough, it was a total meltdown. What was supposed to be a triumphant return quickly turned into chaos as thousands of players flooded in, only to be met with errors, freezes, and, in many cases, an outright inability to log in. From the moment the beta went live, the servers began buckling under pressure. Crashes were frequent, matches wouldn't load, and even if you managed to get in, performance was all over the place. Frame rate drops, lag spikes, rubber banding. You name it, someone experienced it. Social media lit up with frustrated players, and Reddit threads exploded with memes, complaints, and bug reports. The situation got so bad that 1047 Games, the developers behind Splitgate, had to pull the servers offline completely. CEO Ian Pro issued a public apology, stating that the issues weren't just launch day jitters, but serious backend problems that needed urgent attention. His message was clear: they're not giving up and they're going to make it right. But that didn't stop the community from voicing their disappointment. To their credit, 1047 Games has been transparent. While the game was offline, they worked around the clock, fixing bugs, improving server stability, and preparing for a smoother relaunch. They also assured players that all earned or purchased items are safe, and nothing will be lost once the game comes back online. That level of communication helped calm things down a bit. Some players appreciated the honesty. Others felt it was unacceptable for a game that was so hyped and supposedly ready for testing. There's a fine line between beta and broken. And unfortunately, Splitgate 2 crossed that line for many. Despite all that, the game still managed to leave a good impression on players who got to experience it, even briefly. For those who were able to play through the bugs, there was real fun to be had. The core gameplay loop, shoot, portal, outsmart, still hits hard. Add in the new class system and movement upgrades, and it's clear that there's a solid game underneath the mess. But it's not just about gameplay anymore. Players have higher expectations now. We're in an era where betas are treated like soft launches, and first impressions matter more than ever. So when a game crashes at the start line, it's hard to recover that trust. The devs now face a crucial moment. Fix the game, earn back goodwill, and prove that this wasn't just a failed launch, it was a growing pain. And honestly, Splitgate 2 might just have what it takes. So with all the hype, chaos, and patchwork behind us, what does the community actually think of Splitgate 2? Well, reactions have been surprisingly mixed, but not without hope. For a lot of fans, Splitgate 2 is exactly what they wanted. A fast, competitive shooter that doesn't feel like a carbon copy of everything else out there. It takes the classic arena shooter formula and spices it up with just enough new ideas to stay fresh without losing its identity. One of the biggest praises? The balance. Players are calling it the perfect middle ground between Halo's gunplay and the crazy mobility of games like Titanfall. It's fast, but not overwhelming. There's skill involved, but the learning curve isn't punishing. Veterans from the first game already feel at home, and new players are picking it up quicker, thanks to better tutorials and more intuitive design. The classes have been a hot topic. While some are still skeptical about class-based shooters, many players say it actually adds strategy without ruining the core feel of Splitgate. Instead of turning the game into another hero shooter, these classes feel more like subtle modifiers. You're still landing headshots and outsmarting enemies with portals. Now you're just doing it with a bit more flair. But not everything's sunshine and triple portals. Players have pointed out a few features missing from the beta that they expected to be there. Ranked mode is completely absent. There's no real progression system outside of XP and cosmetics. And while the shop has some decent skins, many feel it's still too bare bones for what should be a major release in 2025. Some players also feel the game's identity is at risk. With the introduction of classes and more modern shooter elements, there's a fear it might lose the unique, raw feel that made the original Splitgate stand out. It's a delicate balancing act. Evolve too much and risk alienating the OG fans. Change too little and be labeled as stale. Still, most agree that there's real potential here. Once the devs iron out the bugs, bring back Ranked, and flesh out the in-game systems, Splitgate 2 could easily become one of the best shooters of the year. The gameplay is tight, the movement is slick, and the portal mechanics are still as fun as ever. It's just going to take time and trust. So here's the bottom line. Splitgate 2 didn't stick the landing. But it hasn't crashed and burned either. The foundation is strong. The ideas are exciting. And the community, while frustrated, hasn't given up. If 1047 games can keep communicating, keep listening, and keep improving, this game could be something special. Whether you're a returning fan or brand new to the Portal party, keep an eye on this one. Splitgate 2 isn't perfect, but it's far from over. Splitgate 2's open beta may have had its issues at launch, but I genuinely had a great time with it, and I think this game has real potential. From the moment I jumped into a match, it felt like the Splitgate I loved, only faster, smoother, and more refined. The gunplay is still satisfying. The portal mechanics are just as creative as ever, and the added class system gives each match a new layer of strategy without turning the game into a hero shooter. The movement improvements stood out immediately. Sliding and mantling flow perfectly with the portal mechanics, and the new auto-triple portal system makes things more accessible without dumbing anything down. Whether you're a beginner or a veteran, there's something fun about mastering the movement in this game. Visually, it's a huge step up. The maps are beautiful, the UI is cleaner, and everything feels polished. Even the little things like the crouch fart mechanic added charm and made me laugh. This game doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's refreshing. Yes, the servers struggled, but the developers were transparent, responsive, and genuinely working to improve things. That matters. The fact that the community stuck around through all of it shows how much people believe in this game. I personally think Splitgate 2 is on the right path. And once the bugs are ironed out and more features roll in, this could be one of the best arena shooters in years. Don't sleep on it.